Hello everybody, welcome to Monster Hunter Iceborne. I'm a longtime fan of the series and I'd like to say veteran of the series. If you look up here, it's 245 hours in Monster Hunter world. Some of those hours in this Iceborne expansion. But I actually have more hours than this, not to brag, hashtag humble brag. In games in the previous portion of the series, I've played starting with Monster Hunter 2, then Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, Monster Hunter Tri, Monster Hunter 3U, Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter 4U, which is an amazing game, and Monster Hunter Cross, and now Iceborne. So I've played a lot of these games, and I'm a big fan of the series. And I was wanting to make some videos for maybe some newer players in the series who are looking to get into Monster Hunter, sort of see what it's about, or maybe you already know what it's about, and you sort of want to understand, I want to say how to get into the series, because that's, I can't help you understand that. You have to understand that yourself, like what about Monster Hunter attracts you, but I can show what's attractive about Monster Hunter to me, to you guys, and show off sort of what it's about and what I really enjoy about it, and hopefully you guys can find it fun too, and sort of be able to, because I think a core part of the Monster Hunter experience is progression and a sense of improvement, and sort of this this cycle of knowledge, research, and improvement. You don't really have to do research to enjoy Monster Hunter, but I think research really elevates your enjoyment of Monster Hunter. And it might sound boring because research is something you do in school or when you get a PhD or something. I'm not one of those people who like to research. Yeah, sure, that's for some people. But Monster Hunter really, for me personally, actually showed sort of the fun side of research. I already sort of knew it, but it really like highlighted it and showed it off to me in a really cool and fun way. And so there's a lot to sort of learn and gain from Monster Hunter, even though it's just this hopefully fun game that you're just playing to enjoy. But at the end of the journey, I think, Monster Hunter is one of those games where it can actually kind of change you as a person if you're willing to let it. Or at least it did for me, so that's sort of why I wanted to make this video series. So I've already made this character, Excelina, with my adorable Palico, Excelico. So Excelina and Excelico are hunters. I already played through the tutorial, because I didn't feel like it was really important to show off doing the tutorial, because I think it's kind of straightforward. The game basically just tells you what to do, and there's not really any fighting, there's just moving. So we're going to start here with the very first quest against just normal Jawgrass. So what I'm wearing right now is some basic. I'm really showing off my my skill here. Every Monster Hunter has a different UI, so sometimes I forget. I decided to put on the Origin armor set. Even though I started the game with a better armor set, the Guardian armor set. I can't remember if it was DLC or you get it in Iceborne or whatnot. If you're new to the game, I would say just take the strongest armor set you can. Which, if you have the Guardian armor set, I'll show off. That would be the best one to start off with, because its defense is way higher. So here, Origin, you get Forager's Luck. So I use keyboard and mouse. I hit control here and it brings up this menu that describes Forager's Luck. Increases the chances of finding rare gathering points. And rare gathering points are just normal gathering points, but they sparkle, and as a result you get more resources from them. So this is just a way to sort of get more resources, and it's nice. But the Guardian set will actually make the game quite a bit easier for you, and there's no, like, Monster Hunter is gonna be a hard game at one point. Like, if you enjoy it and you're having fun and you keep going, it'll get difficult. There's no need to make things hard for yourself right away if you don't want to. So I'd recommend if you have the Guardian set, go ahead and use it. It's way stronger, 50 defense instead of 6. Get fire, ice, and dragon resist. You get recovery up and health boost. You know, all these armor sets in the Guardian give you some kind of skill and make the game easier. Health boost being a really, really good one that helps a lot. It increases the size of your health bar on top of Divine Blessing, which has a chance of reducing the damage take. I was taking a second earlier to think about what weapon I sort of wanted to show off to really show off like how to fight monsters in Monster Hunter, while also doing fun and cool things and having exciting moments. And when I thought of that, I was like, there's only one weapon. One weapon that's, for me, the clear choice that will be fun, exciting, make big numbers, and that's the greatsword. Greatsword, it's a great weapon to start with. It's a lot of fun. It's very easy to show off or to learn some of the basic skills of Monster Hunter. And so that's what I'm going with. But every weapon in Monster Hunter is great in its own respect as you learn it and as you come to understand it. My main weapon actually is the lance. I'll probably do a couple hunts with lance to show it off and sort of, you know, strut my stuff a little bit. But, you know, as I'm thinking about the fact that I said that, I now know I might just run lance and do horrible and embarrass myself, but that's fine. It's alright to embarrass yourself in Monster. That's part of the experience. But yeah, if you guys want, obviously, do whatever weapon you think is fun, whatever you want to do. The things that you're gonna hopefully learn from me with my majority greatsword gameplay should be applicable to all weapons. All weapons have their own unique style to sort of optimize, but there are a couple of fundamental things about Monster Hunter that I, as a veteran player, can just pick up almost any of these weapons and still do a pretty good job because of these skills. There's a couple that I really struggle with just because I've never really played them, and that's the bow guns. I've played a little bit of bow, but not much. And those are different enough that the skills are still applicable, but I probably would flop if I played them because there's still a certain amount of like familiarity you need. But I could pick it up pretty quick, hopefully. So that's the gear I'm starting with, and before hunt, it's always a good idea. Go this canteen. I'm gonna skip through all these tutorials because I'll be your tutorial, and you can also read them in game, which I actually recommend. Unless reading is boring to you and you rather just skip through everything, that's fine too. Some people like to just throw themselves in the fire and have fun that way, and I think that's a great way. What I'll do the smart thing that I think you guys should do. And I was gonna do the fish platter to get this nice defense up bonus, which early game just getting some defense will make things a lot easier for you, because as you're learning you want to be able to tank hits and not die, because there's a lot of trial and error you're gonna have to do and a lot of observation you have to do, and so defense is very important to allow you to do that. But the meat platter actually gives a health bonus, which can be just as good as defense, and offense can be good defense in this game. So I'm gonna go with the meat platter. So I think that's a good idea. Eat that delicious food. Talk to the handler and start this Jawgross quest. Jawgross of the Ancient Forest. Alright, so the free to explore. They're just explaining the stuff you can do before you leave on the mission. Let's depart. Ancient Forest is the first place you start off with. It's actually probably the most confusing map. Yeah, there's maybe one or two in contention, but it's definitely like up there with respects to being a confusing map. So it's a little unfortunate in some ways that it's the first map, but I can tell why they did it, because the Great Force is really well designed. It's a lot of fun. It's really cool. There's a lot of details. Like, they took a lot of time with this map and really refined it and did some really cool things with it. And has a lot of fun areas, different areas with different environmental things you can either take advantage of or can sort of trip you up. But it is hard to navigate. So you'll probably want to rely on the fireflies or the scout flies that sort of show you where to go. It's probably a good idea to just pick up things as you go early on. I'll probably do some resource gathering because that's just part of Monster Hunter. Like, it can be a boring part, and I know a lot of people who don't really like resource gathering. But if you play Monster Hunter, it's just something you have to do. So I'm just gonna do it, as boring as it might be. But I mean, it can, depending who you are, like, it can be fun. It gives you the opportunity to sort of look at the map, look at all the cool things going on. Like, you'll see all these twisting little branches that all connect from this huge tree. Like, look at that tree. That tree is insane. Yeah. And so, you know, there can be some fun things about gathering. Also, like, if you do a bunch of intense hunts, it's kind of nice to take a moment to relax and just do some gathering, get some materials that will help you. So right now I just got a couple of mega potions. Yeah, mega potions, because I got some of this delicious honey. Honey plus herb makes potions, and by default, they have you auto-craft potions from herbs. Although I'm kind of confused why I didn't craft these 2 potions. Oh, no, I get it. I picked up the herbs, I had full potions, so I got 2 herbs. The auto-crafting system only works when you gain that material. So I had 2 herbs and 10 potions. I got 2 honey just now. And so, because I have auto-crafting on for mega potions, the 2 potions combined with 2 honey to make 2 mega potions automatically. Same as for antidote. When you pick up antidote herbs, you will just automatically craft antidotes. I like to leave this on. It's nice. Hot and cool drinks too. Because then because mega potions are just better. Like, if you can, you should just, generally speaking, be using mega potions. Early on, it might be hard to get some of the resources to make lots of mega potions. So I would recommend drinking potions as much as possible. Unless you're in a tense situation, you're like, oh, I need, oh, it's not letting me gather, I guess, because of this script. There we go. Unless you really need that, like, huge health bonus and you're terrified a monster's going to kill you, go just drink that mega potion. So I like to leave those on because it automatically moves things up the list towards mega potion. So here, I'm just going to do my basic left click attacks. I'm using mouse and keyboard, which not a lot of people do, I don't think. I think the majority of people do controller, but I like mouse and keyboard. I get a lot of control with where I look. I can move my look really fast. I don't really mind pressing left click and right click to do my attacks. Left click is your basic attack. It's listening to field team layer. Left click does your basic vertical attack. For the great sword, one attack that's really good to learn is your opening attack. You put away your weapon, you run, and you left click. Wait, if you walk, do you do it? Yes, you can walk or run, actually. So as you walk or as you run, which for me is holding shift, you left click and you do a quick draw and a quick attack. That's a really good way to just get chip damage in, just get really quick damage. The damage value on it's pretty decent. It's, let's see, how do I... There's a... Oh, actually, I don't think they have the kick in this game. Oh, but they do have the tackle. Okay. Yeah, so something on Greatsword with a low damage value is if you're charging attack, and for me I right click, I do that little tackle. That doesn't usually do very much damage. It might be able to, and I might be slightly wrong, but when you're using it, you're not really using it to do damage. So this is your bread and butter little damage hit. When you think you have an opportunity and the monster's going to sit for a second, or you know where the monster is going to move its head, you'll usually want to do that, which is the triple, is the full charge attack. So you glow 3 times, and when you do that little like pump action, and like, you know, like you become much brighter for a second, like there, that's when you let go, and that's triple charge. That's the highest damage you can do from an opening attack. You can do it just sitting. Just press and hold left click when your weapon's out. One thing to note is you can't do that quick slash when your weapon is out. When your weapon is out, you pull your sword back, then you swing down. When your sword's away, you quickly pull it out and swing it down. So it's slightly faster, which makes it really good for chip. You also have your right click, which is a horizontal swing, and it does decent damage too. Like most of the attacks on the Greatsword do decent damage. I use this mostly to sweep and get monsters away, or if I want to do like a quick little combo, you can do right click into left and right click at the same time to do this little side swing to upper swing. The upper swing does pretty decent damage actually for an attack. But later I'll show you the full combo to do a lot of damage. So I'm gonna mine and I'm gonna get some bone real quick because these are very useful materials to start out with. They'll help me make better weapons or better armor. I'm probably gonna mostly focus on better weapons right now, because I think it might be more useful to showcase how you can play Monster Hunter without needing like lots of armor to tank lots of hits. Because like generally speaking, you shouldn't, like, taking hits is kind of a crutch. It's not really, ideally you shouldn't be getting hit unless you're doing like a trade in damage that you're like calculated or you want to do, which I don't think there's very many scenarios, so generally speaking you don't want to get hit, but obviously like you're gonna get hit. Even the best hunters, like even veteran hunters, get hit occasionally. It's hard not to. It's part of the game. You can expect to get hit, but for me to sort of show off monsters and help you understand how to fight them and different like ideas and techniques fighting against them, I'm gonna do, you know, not very high armor value armors so that I get punished a lot for getting hit. And you guys should get like focus, if you're new to the series, you should focus on getting as much armor as you possibly can, and reducing that damage you can take. And if you combine what I'm showing you with those high value armors, you should be able to do a lot of monsters a lot better. The time for your hunts might take a lot longer if you're very focused on defense and a lot of the defensive tactics I'm going to show you. So I'll try to show off like how to be defensive while doing damage, because Monster Hunter is very much about the balance. Because if you're not doing good defense, your offense is going to hurt a lot, because you're constantly healing, you're constantly being knocked back, you're losing out on a lot of damage opportunities, because getting knocked back or knocked down lasts so long that a lot of times you can't really actually like hit monsters, or not hit monsters. You can't take advantage of the things the monsters do. So Monster Hunter is always about a good balance of offense and defense. And when you're starting out, I would say defense is usually what you want to focus on. So this hunt took probably a little bit longer than it needed to, because I was, you know, talking and goofing around. But I also collected a lot of stuff. Here's a lot of materials that are useful to get. Monster bones, iron ore, bitter bugs, toadstool, ancient bone, armor sphere. So these armor spheres will let you upgrade the armor value on your armor, which is really good when starting out. So armor spheres are really good to collect. You'll get them from mining sometimes. Sharp clawed, aside Dragus Grail. So all these will help you craft armors and weapons and stuff. And this is the stuff Palico got me. Yay, Palico. Or Exilico. Our excellent Palico. So that was the first mission. Hopefully that was sort of a nice introduction to what's going to happen. And hopefully you guys gained some knowledge or have gotten a little prepared for what the rest of this series is going to be like. And I hope you guys enjoyed and join me in the next ones and maybe learn a bit about Monster Hunter while having a lot of fun yourself. All right. Bye.